So this summer sequence is based on the 5 Buddhas, and we'll start by coming to lie with the knees bent and feet hip width apart, resting the hands on the abdomen, the elbows slightly out at the side. And just have a focus as you lie with your knees bent, your feet are hip width apart, hands resting on the abdomen, and have a thought of what am I grateful for today. You can close your eyes and tune into your breath. What am I grateful for today? And a couple more breaths. And then coming to be aware of where you are on the mat. Leaving your hands for the moment either where they are or palms down on the floor. And start by just gently turning your head to the left and then turning your head gently to the right. No effort involved. And repeat that a couple of times, just gently turning the head from side to side. And then coming back to the centre. And then very gently extending the feet along the ground so that you're lying in a corpse pose, Shavasana, except that we are going to be doing movement. And just very gently extend the right heel and relax the foot and the leg, and then extend the left heel and relax the foot and the leg. Just extend both heels and point gently both toes a few times. Breathing in as the heels extend and the toes go up to the ceiling, and breathing out as the toes move away from you. And then very gently circle the ankles a couple of times in one direction, waking up the circulation. And then gently circle the ankles in the other direction. And then relax and release. Extend your right heel as you raise your right arm up above you. Relax the back of the right hand on the floor. And then breathing out, gently turn your head away from your right arm to the left. And stay here for an in and an out breath. Breathing in, bring your head back to centre. And breathing out, lower the right arm back down alongside you. Breathing in as you extend the left heel and raise the left arm up above you, the back of the hand on the floor. Breathing out, turn your head to the right, away from your left arm, stretching your left arm and extending your left foot. Breathe in back to the centre, and breathing out, lower your left arm and relax your left leg. Breathe in, extend both feet and extend both arms up above you. You can catch your thumbs if you would like, stretching up and away with your thumbs and your hands, and then extending your heels away from you. And breathing out, lower both of your arms and relax both of your feet. Cross your right foot over your left. And then just raise both arms above you. Your body resembles a banana shape. So I'm holding my left arm with my right hand. And I'm just in a crescent moon shape with my body. My backs of the hands are resting on the ground. And then breathing in, bring your head back to the center, your arms back to the center, uncross your legs. And you might, if you want to, move your feet a little bit to the right, crossing your left leg over your right. And then just raise your arms again. You should be crescent mooning in the opposite direction. If I've got that wrong, I'm really sorry. I can't remember which direction we were in. But crossing to the other side, just stretching out the other side. And then uncross your legs, walk back to the center. Keep your hands up, extend both heels, and just move both arms. You can hold one wrist or the other, or hold your thumbs to the right, come to the center, and both arms then go to the left. So you get your lateral stretch. Come back to the center, hug both knees into the chest, and gently rock from side to side. And then place both feet on the ground and cross your right leg over your left. Hands can be resting on your abdomen with the elbows out. And just let both knees rock over towards the right. Your left hip lifts. You can stay with your hands on your abdomen, or you can open your hands out like a T. You can also take one arm onto your leg, so your right arm just onto your thigh, your right thigh. I said, or you can just raise your arms up above you, maybe your right arm up above you and your left arm out to the side, and turn your head perhaps to the left, or optional. It's quite strong. If that's too strong under your left arm, just bend your left elbow and hold your left waist. And then bring your abdomen in, roll your knees back to the center and lower your arms if they've been up. Unravel your legs and cross your left leg over your right. And then drop both knees to the left. And then you've got an option with your arms either out in a T, or you can raise one arm up above you. The other arm can be on your waist. It's very optional, and you turn your head to the right. Staying here for an in and an out breath. Tummy in, roll your knees back to the center, hug your knees into your chest, rock your knees gently from side to side a couple of times, and then rolling over, taking your time onto your hands and knees into a cat or a tabletop pose. So hands are hands are shoulder width apart and knees are hip width apart. And cat-cow, dipping your back, looking up, breathing out, rounding back, chin to chest. And carry on for a couple of times, dipping your back and rounding. Dipping your back, looking either up or along the mat. and rounding. And dipping your back. And this time, as you round, come into a very soft downward dog, tummy in or lower abdomen in towards the spine as you lift your knees and push back into a soft dog. Feel free to adjust your feet to being wider than hip width apart and perhaps a little bit closer to your hands. Deeply bend your right knee and extend your left heel. It may or may not touch the floor, it doesn't matter. You're stretching out the back of your left calf. And then reverse as you deeply bend your left knee and extend your right leg. Again, it doesn't matter if your heel doesn't touch the ground. And then walk the dog by bending one knee and the other knee alternately. And you can sway your hips as you're doing this. And then walk your feet gradually towards your hands. Your hands may also come back to your feet. Place your hands on your shins. Lengthen from the tailbone to the top of the head. Half lift, flat back. Breathing out, bend your knees, elbows out to the side. Breathing in, hands on shins, flat back. Stay here as you breathe out. And then bending your knees, press your feet into the ground to roll up to standing. Lift and roll your shoulders. Lift your toes and then place your toes with consciousness back down on the ground, and this might spread them out. Just slightly sway from side to side. And then gently start to slow your sway down. And we're going to make our way to the top of our mats to come into a variation of salute to the sun. And lift and roll the shoulders. Come to the top of the mat. Inhale, exhale, hands together. Inhale, hands up and back. Look up if you can, if not, look ahead. Breathe out, roll down, bending your knees, bending your elbows, and your hands at either side of your feet. Step your right foot back, high. Step your left foot back, you're in plank. Straight away, bend your knees down to the ground. And however you want to come to lower onto your front. Extend your hands in front of you, stretching out your arms. And stay here, just stretching for an in and out breath. Slide your hands back to your chest, elbows in. As you press down, come to kneeling. And then tucking your toes, coming into your downward dog. Just walk the dog or stay static, just enjoy a moment or two in downward dog. Bend both knees to the ground. Hands go to the left and your right foot comes up into a kneeling position. Do feel that you can move your front right foot out to the right for better balance if you need to. Breathing in, raising your hands up into a crescent moon, stretching your fingers. If your neck will allow it, look up. If it won't, then just look ahead. Almost come into a back bend. Bring your head upright and then come to, it's like a kneeling warrior two, but the option is to hold your right waist with your right elbow if you find this twist quite deep. If not, and you like this twist, then go sideways to the right. And then breathing in, coming back to the centre. Hands either side of the right foot. Tucking the left toes under, tummy in, lifting up and bring the back foot slightly in so that you're in your pyramid pose. You're bending over your right leg and your right waist comes slightly backwards so that you're evening your hips up. Drop your head forward and stay here for an in and an out breath. And then step your left foot to your right foot. Press your feet down and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Arms up, stretching back up again. And breathing out, lowering your hands back down alongside you. Inhale, exhale, hands together at the heart centre. Inhale, stretching your arms up and back. Stretch your fingers. Breathing out, roll down, vertebra by vertebra. And step back, high lunge. Step back with your left foot. Step back now with your right foot so that you stay in plank. Quite a strong pose. Heels up. Then bend both knees to the ground and roll onto your front, stretching your arms out in front of you. Really enjoy the stretch. Take an in and an out breath in this stretch. And then when you're ready, slide your hands back so that they are parallel to your chest. Bring your elbows in. Press your hands down to come to kneeling. And then tucking your toes, come to a downward dog. Walk the dog a couple of times, bending one knee and then bending the other knee. Stretch back in your dog. And then bending both knees back down to the ground. This time your hands go to the right to let your left foot come up, and your hands go either side of your left foot, just stretching into the left thigh. Come back to your left knee being a 90-degree angle, and feel free to move the left foot out to the side of the mat. Kneel up and come to your crescent moon. Looking either up or straight ahead, stretch your fingers. If you're looking up, you're almost into a back bend. And then bring your head upright as you come either to a kneeling warrior 2, but if you would like to place your left hand onto your left waist in your warrior 2, then you're very welcome to. It's optional. And then come back to either hand, both hands either side of your left foot, stretch into your left thigh, bring your left knee back to a 90-degree angle as you tuck your right toes, engage your lower abdomen towards your spine, lifting up your right knee and stepping your right foot to your left foot, pressing down as you roll your body up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Lift and roll your shoulders, hands up, circle your wrists down and open and close your fingers. Inhale, exhale, hands together at the heart centre. Inhale, hands up. Breathing out, roll down. Step back, right foot, left foot, you're high in plank. Knees to the ground, come to lying. Stretch your arms out. Enjoy the stretch. Take an in and an out breath here. Slide your hands back to your chest, elbows in. Press your hands down, come to kneeling. Tuck your toes. Come to your downward dog. Walk the dog, bending one knee and then the other, and you can sway your hips optionally as you go. Then both knees to the ground, hands to the left, right foot up. Hands either side of your right foot. Tuck your left toes. Lift your left knee and step your left foot to your right foot. Press your feet into the ground as you roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing and raising your hands up, stretching your fingers. Lower your hands, lift and roll your shoulders and clasp your hands behind your back, opening your shoulders, knuckles aimed to the ground. Separate your hands and slide your hands down the backs of your legs. Fingertips to the floor, step back with your left foot high, right foot, you're in plank, in a straight line, heels up, and then knees go down to the ground, onto your tummy, hands straight out, stretching in front of you. Stay here for an in and an out breath, and then another. Slide your hands back, elbows in, press down with your hands and come onto your knees. Tuck your toes, come into your downward dog, walk the dog. Stretch both knees back and then come down to your knees. Bring your left foot forward. Your back right heel tucks in slightly. Your right foot tucks in. You're coming into your pyramid pose on the left side. Your left hip slightly comes backwards. It's a forward bend. Stretching out the back of your right calf. And then step your right foot to your left foot. Press both feet down as you roll up vertebra by vertebra. Stretching your hands up, stretch your fingers. Thumbs together as you just sway from side to side. And then very gently lower your hands and come to a seated position with your legs out in front of you in a V. And just bounce your legs. Hands resting on the ground. Circle your ankles again in one direction. And then circle your ankles again in the other direction. Raise both arms upwards, stretching your fingers, and then tummy in as you breathe out. Bring your right arm to the outside of your left foot and your left hand behind you on the ground. Looking backwards towards your left hand. Stay here for an in and an out breath. Tummy in as you raise both hands up. Breathing out as you twist to the right and your left hand takes the outside of your right foot. Your right hand goes behind you. Twist to the other side. And stay here as you take a couple of in and out breaths. And then breathing in, come back up. Just rest your hands either side of you, press your hands down and just lift your chest. Raise your eyes up. Your chin might lift a fraction as you raise your eyes upwards, disconnecting the eyes from the stress centers of the brain. And then bringing your head back up to upright and bringing your soles of your feet together into Baddha Konasana. Hold just above on your ankles and use your thumbs to massage the inside of your ankle bone round and round, which I believe is part of the lymph and hence immune system. And then slide your hands under your legs to bring your knees upright. Come to drop your knees to the side, and you're going to come up to high kneeling. Just lift and roll your shoulders. Your toes can be tucked underneath or flat. Flat is harder. And bringing your right arm up, hold the back of your right head, and with your left arm perhaps touch your left heel. If you've got your toes tucked under, that's easier, and looking up. It becomes something called Ustrasana, Camel Pose. And then breathing in, come upright. Release your hand, lift and roll your shoulders. And then take your left hand behind your head to support it, and your right fingers go to your right heel. Just press your knees down and look up. And if you can keep not leaning backwards, that's better, but hard. And then come back upright again. Just come forward slightly to neutralise that quite strong back bend. Slide your left leg in front of slide your right leg in front of your left, and cross your right foot over your left. So it's like crossing your legs, but you're kneeling upright. And then open your feet slightly and sit back in the diamond between your heels. So it's a fish pose. If you need a cushion under your bottom, do so. You're going to really work on the outer hips here. So my feet are like little cow's ears, almost, and I'm holding my right knee as I'm sitting up. You'll really feel that on the outside of your right hip. Holding your right knee with perhaps your left hand, place your right hand behind you and just breathe in as you lengthen your spine and breathe out as you twist to the right. Looking over your right shoulder. And then coming back, hug the right knee in and just nod forwards over your right knee. Hands either side of you as you unravel your legs. And then you can either come to high kneeling or just cross your right leg over cross your left leg over your right. I'm sorry, I'm getting muddled. So your left leg goes over your right, bent. You're reversing the direction, sitting upwards, holding your left knee, and then very gently turning to the left. And then very gently nod forward over your left knee. And then unravel your legs and come to a very gentle cross-legged position as you hold your shins. And this is a seated cat-cow, so sitting up and then rounding chin to chest. And again, sitting up and rounding chin to chest. And sitting up and rounding chin to chest. And then turn your head to the left and then turn your head to the right. Turn your head to the left and turn your head to the right. Bring your head to the center, drop your chin to your chest, and roll your chin or your nose up to your left shoulder. Roll the head, chin, chest down to the chest again, and then roll the chin and the nose up to the right shoulder. So it looks like a pendulum, just a couple more times. Dropping the chin to the chest and rolling to the left. Dropping the chin to the chest and rolling to the right. Bring the chin to the chest and then come upwards Just lift and roll your shoulders. And then come to lying on the mat. Your knees are bent, and we're going to be doing pelvic tilts and some very gentle bridge pose variations. So bending your knees are hip width apart. And then very gently, hands down, palms down alongside you. Your knees can be slightly wider than hip width apart for this first part as you roll your knees from side to side. And just work out where you're initiating the roll. Is it from your hips? Is it from your knees? If you press your feet into the ground, your feet will initiate the movement from side to side. And then maybe let your knees make the movement from side to side. And then maybe your hips. There's no right or wrong, it's just an observation. If you had moved your feet further than hip width apart, bring them back to hip width apart and your feet just slightly in towards your bottom. As you make a pelvic tilt by pressing your bottom into the ground, as if you're back into the ground, as you're going to lift your bottom and then releasing and relaxing. Pressing the back into the ground as if you're going to lift your bottom and then release. This time, press your hands down, lift your bottom slightly. Your knees will go straight forward, tracking towards your second or third toe, and then lift your arms bent at the elbows above you, chin down. You can lift up a little bit or you can lift up a lot. And breathing out, let your bottom float to the ground and your hands will naturally follow. Finish the movement of lowering your hands and then finish the breath. And just take an in and an out breath. And then press your feet into the ground, lift your bottom again and into that bridge. Arms above you, chin tucked into the chest. Breathing out, lower your bottom and then lower your hands back down to the ground. And then hug one knee into the chest and then the other. Rocking from side to side, and you can even rock onto your tops of your arms almost as you rock from side to side. And then hugging the knees into the chest, still hold them and let them move away from you to arm's length. Hugging the knees into the chest and let them move away from you to arm's length. And just do that a couple of times. And then happy baby, placing your hands underneath the soles of your feet to the ceiling, knees bent. I hold from the inside out, so my fingers out. That's very much a yogic way, but you can hold the other way if that's more comfortable. You can stay static or just rock gently from side to side. Even here, feel that you're engaging your abdomen. And then from here, you can optionally hold your big toes with your second and third finger. You can hold along your shins, calves, anywhere, but if you're holding your toes, open out into a V and just extend your heels and rock from side to side. You can keep your knees soft. You can keep your elbows soft. And if this doesn't work for you, then just hold anywhere on your shins. It's an inversion, very good for rebalancing the nervous system. And then very gently bend your knees, hugging the knees into the chest and rocking once more from side to side. And then just gently letting your feet come back down to the ground. This time perhaps have your feet wider than hip width apart, so as the knees can gently touch. This is helpful for lower back, resting your hands either on the abdomen, elbows out or palms up, whatever works for you. You can keep one hand on the abdomen and raise one hand slightly up towards the chest area, or the heart area as well. It doesn't matter which hand. And just notice that the abdomen expands slightly on the in-breath and relaxes slightly as you breathe out. And then take one hand, it doesn't matter which it is, to your third eye, and just very gently with your fingers, maybe third and fourth or second and third, make a little circle in an anti-clockwise, it doesn't matter, just circle around the third eye, the pineal gland, connecting to our centre of knowledge and intuition. Soothing for the head. And then just take for a moment both fingertips and just gently touch above the eyebrows. That bony part above the eyebrows is called the neurovasculars, and they're very good for just gently connecting with, if you've got a headache, to keep fluid into the head. Just touch, and then just let the fingers trace off to the temples and just very gently circle your fingertips, pads of your fingers at the edge of the temples. Again, very soothing. And then just for a moment, connect to your inner body by placing your fingers over your ears, just to hear the inner rushing and the workings of the head, and connecting and focusing on the ear chakra. Just press your hands or even your palms over your ears. Then very gently release. Release your hands back down to your abdomen, the one on the abdomen, one at the heart center. Just gently roll your head from side to side. Check that your feet are relaxed. Feel that the weight of you is heavy on the floor, on the mat, connecting with the earth. And take a moment to have a thought for the day. Within the Buddha, this 5 Buddha practice, the thought is to be grateful. For what am I grateful for? And then to see someone that you love and wish them well. Wish them health and happiness. And slowing our breath, which we've done in this practice, attunes us to our subtle body. And the other thought connected with the 5 Buddhas is that jealous ignorance is the basis of all other afflictions and can lead to jealousy, anger, and ignorant desire. So finish by coming back to the original thought, what am I grateful for? Wish somebody well. And mentally just seal those thoughts, swirling them around almost as if you're cocooning yourself in an auric egg of colour of your choice. And then when you're ready, you can either stay where you are or come to a gentle seated position to end the class. And thank you very much for joining me today.